Welcome back to another Sunday prep day where I prep everything for the week. So today I'm going to cut all my vegetables. I'm going to make some pork belly for several meals this week. And the braising liquid I'm going to turn into some stock for some ramen later in the week. I'm also going to make some pickled carrots, some pickled onions, and I will make some tzatziki. So first I'm cutting up some red onions for my pickled onions. And I will always cut my veg first, and then I'll make all the other things that I need to make. But I will put this in a jar and get things underway. So as always, we'll start by going over the menu. So for lunch today, I'm going to have sandwiches like I usually do. I have a ciabatta, and I'm going to have some chicken deli meat on that, some cucumber, some maybe some lettuce, things like that. So let's get this in a jar. Sundays are the only day I eat sandwiches really because I'm diabetic, had to cut some carbs. So I usually have low carb, keto friendly lunches and breakfast if I have it, which is not very often. But yeah, Sunday sandwiches. And then for dinner, I'm going to make some chicken sandwiches. So I'm going to take some chicken breast. I'm going to bread it and air fry it. And I'll have it with some pickles, some lettuce, things like that. I'll have, maybe I'll even do some of the tzatziki on it. How does that sound? I don't know. That sounds like an idea. We'll just see what I feel like tonight. Then tomorrow, Monday, I always do meatless Mondays. I'm just going to cut up this onion for some lettuce wraps and stir fries. So for lunch, a lettuce wrap with some fake chicken because it's meatless Monday. So with that, I'll just have some vegetables stir fried like onions, carrots, peppers, things like that. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some falafel wraps. So I have some spicy falafel. I'm going to serve that with the tzatziki I'm going to make, with the pickled carrots and onions, some salad, some cucumber. So that should be delicious. Falafel is actually one of my favorite vegan foods. So here I have a big white onion, and that I'm going to use for my stock. So I don't need to cut that too fine. Give that a rough chop because all the veggies are going to get strained out anyway. So all my broth things I'll just put in this container. And with that, I can also throw in some whole garlic cloves. They're going to break down, so I don't need to chop them. Then for some garnish and for the stir fries, I will cut up some spring onions. So the greens I'll use for garnish, and the whites I'll use in my stir fry, my lettuce wraps, things like that. Speaking of stir fry, we were on, where were we? Oh, we were on Tuesday. So lettuce wraps with actual chicken. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some pork belly tacos. So if you saw my video last week, you know I made my roasted salsa. Still have some of that left over. So I'm going to use that with some pork belly and some lettuce, and gonna make that delicious. Then on Wednesday, I'm gonna do a stir fry, low carb. So instead of things like rice or noodles, I'm gonna use broccoli stems because broccoli stems are delicious and it's a waste to throw it away, and it's a nice low carb option. So what next? Let's do some cucumber. So I need some slices for my sandwiches. There we go. And I also need some slices for my lettuce wraps. Not my lettuce wrap, my falafel wraps. So again, just take the tip off and do some slices. So lunch Wednesday was the stir fry, and then for dinner I'm gonna do some pork belly sandwiches because well, I will have made my pork belly and I'll make a big batch of it, so I'll use it in several meals. But also from my chicken sandwiches I'll have some burger buns left over, so I need to use those up, so that's a perfect way to do it. And then for my tzatziki here, I have a little bit of Greek yogurt that I have left over. I'm just going to use the container to make this in. Why create washing up if you don't need to. So I'll just grate it directly in there. So pork belly sandwiches. Then on Thursday, some more lettuce wraps, probably with some pork belly because I'll have that left over. And I'll just see what I'm going to put in it. Veggies, or the roasted salsa, or we'll just see what I have left over come then. And then for dinner on Thursday, I'm going to use the braising liquid for my pork belly as the stock for my ramen. And I still have some miso. I might add that, and or some soy sauce. We'll just figure out how I'm gonna do that later on. And then Friday, some salmon with some broccoli. I'll cut the broccoli now, actually. So just some grilled salmon, and I'll cut these broccoli florets to bite-sized pieces. And then for dinner on Friday, I'm going to do a noodle bowl with some salmon, and we'll see what I have left over. I might do some broccoli if I have broccoli left over, because this is a little bit big for one portion, but a bit small for two portions. I'm just going to use it all up because I want to use the stems. Or I'm going to do some green beans, maybe a combination. We'll just see on Friday. And then for these stems, just cut them into small pieces. You can grate them, you don't need to. Just cut them as fine as you like. Just take the little crown bit off, make it nice and straight. I don't mind the stems being a bit bigger. If you do, just cut them as fine as you want, up into grating it and making like broccoli rice, whatever you fancy. So just gonna cut these into small pieces. And the only thing I'm not going to do is use that very last bit, because that's always quite dry, especially on the ones that I have left over from last week. And on the ones from last week, you know, the little remnants of the leaves, I did take those off, because those are a bit dry. And again, just straighten everything up a bit. And then cut lengthwise. And cut nice and fine. And I have one more broccoli stem, so I'll do that real quick and then we'll be right back. And in the meantime, I quickly peeled some carrots. I'm going to start off by making these strips for my pickled carrots, because I'm just going to do this until I can't slice them anymore with my peeler, and I'll just keep working on that. And the bits that were too small to peel, I'll just use for my stir fry and my my lettuce wraps for the soup. So I'll just keep doing that until I have enough to fill that jar. There we go, that's one jar full. And then these remnants I'll just cut nice and fine for my stir fry and lettuce wraps. And then these 2 carrots, I'll just cut the tips off. And I'll cut these into rough chunks for my broth. And then speaking of broth, I have some celery here. And this has been sitting in the fridge for far too long, so it's time to use it up anyway. Let's just give that a rough chop. And get that in with my stock ingredients. Let's do some peppers. So these are for my lettuce wraps, probably my falafel wrap as well, my stir fries. So I have 2 of these red ones. I'll just cut them in half and clean them out. And then half of them I'll cut into little cubes, so I'll cut them lengthwise first. And then cut across. And the other one I'll just cut into strips, so I'll cut them across. And then I have these small yellow peppers, so I'll just clean those out. And I'll just cut these into small pieces as well. Then I have some chilies, I have some jalapenos, and again, I forget what these are called, but these are mild. So again, just like the little peppers, I'm just gonna take the seeds out, mostly because it's quite big and it just gets in the way. I don't mind spice, I just don't like the big pieces in there. So I'll just do that for all of them. I'll just throw some in for my stock, just for a little bit of spice. And the rest I'll just chop nice and fine. And again, this is for my lettuce wraps, for my stir fry, things like that. Strips is good enough, I don't need it too fine. And these green chilies are going to contrast nicely with my red and yellow peppers. So just give them a good chop. And get those in a container. Then I have some mushrooms for my stock. So again, not too fussy with the shape. Just gonna quarter them real quick. And I'll do that for the whole lot. So those were just some regular white button mushrooms. I have some of these cremini mushrooms. I'll use those for garnish for my ramen. So I'll just cut those into some slices. Also for some garnish, I have these other, is it enoki? I think that's what they're called. But these will just go in there as well. I'll just use those for garnish. I just have a couple left here. I'll just throw those in for the stock. And then last thing are a whole bunch of green beans. I'm just gonna top and tail. And actually, while I do that, I'm gonna cut away anyway. In the meantime, I'll just start heating up my Ninja Foodi on saute, because that's gonna go in my my stock. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep cutting these, and I will be right back. I just have a little bit of oil in the pan. My camera overheated, so you missed me mince up some garlic as well. But yeah, the pan is nice and hot. Oil I put in there, and that's nice and hot as well. So I'm just going to add my onions, carrots, celery, mushrooms, chilies. So give that a quick saute. And I'll add a bit of salt as well. Meanwhile, we'll just finish off the tzatziki so I can put that in the fridge. So just a reminder, I have some Greek yogurt, some cucumber that I grated, and here I have some grated garlic. I'm going to add some dill, some lime juice. You can use lemon. I just have limes at the moment. Add a little bit of salt. Give that a little stir, and taste if it needs any more seasoning. No, that's just right. So I can just put that in the fridge. And yeah. Meanwhile, let's get my pickling liquid going. So for that, I'm using some, in this case, some white wine vinegar, because I don't have that much rice vinegar. Just using that up. About equal parts of water. A little bit of sugar, not too much, and some salt. And we'll just let that come to a simmer. I'm going to wait for the vegetables to finish sauteing. I'm going to clean up my tzatziki and things like that, so back in a moment. And the vegetables have sauteed, so I'm going to add in some dried porcini mushrooms as well, just for some extra flavor, get nice umami. And I'll add water. And then while that was sauteing, I cut the skin on my pork belly in a crisscross, and I'm just going to put that skin side down on top so that can render out. And then because I have a pressure cooker and I can, I'm gonna pressure cook this, make sure the valve is closed. Turn that to pressure cook, and with this size and thickness, I think that's going to be about 40 minutes on high pressure. So that can do its thing, and we're just waiting for the pickling liquid now. Okay, that has come to a simmer now, so I'm just going to pour that over my onions and my carrots. And we're just gonna let that cool down, and then I can put that in the fridge. So that's everything I can do for now. We're just gonna wait for the pork belly to be done so I can take that out and strain the broth out. So I guess I'll just see you back in a moment. And that's the pork belly done. That's just cooling off now. When it comes time to use it, I can slice off a piece and air fry that to get that nice and crispy. And that will be used in several meals. And then the braising liquid, I just strained out all the solids. So it's going to cool down a bit more. Then it can go in the fridge, and that will be the basis for my stock for my ramen. And then the pickles are cooling down as well. So that's all my prep work done for the week. I can now have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. If you like this kind of content, I do this every single Sunday. And yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.